Welcome everyone in this new video tutorial about Diablo like dungeon generator. In this video we are going to build a simple logic that says I want my end tile to be oriented towards that cardinal point, and maybe we are also going to add a little feature to that says and I want a certain amount of tile in a row, of corridors in a row that leads to the end tile. But we are going to specify in an extra, but these corridors are going to be extra tiles added to the dungeon in addition to the tile amount. So we're going to create a variable that says for said end tile cardinal, and we are also going to build up another variable called corridors to end tile. So we could be building the logic to make sure these tile to make sure these tile are not added to the tile amount, but the dungeon is built in such a way that build the corridor of that amount to the end tile. But I'm not sure I actually want to do that because I don't want to mess up with my dungeon layout. And I actually maybe want to specify a certain amount of rules for that tiles, such as there are no minions, nothing can spawn in here and stuff like that. So I just want to add them as an extra layer of tiles. So I'm going to say this is a cardinal point variable, and for now it's set on random. We're going to, I mean, the way it behaves right now is random. So I'm just specifying it's random for now. If I'm going back to our end tile function, this is actually quite simple, I believe. I think we just need to say that if the tile we're looping through that passed these checks is what do I want to get? I want to get this and that. We want to say is the cardinal towards that location used, I mean free? Is the cell targeted toward that cardinal from that starting location is free? If so, does it has a number of can we spawn a number of corridors in a row equal to that on that location? If yes, we are adding it. So we're just going to check our utility function variables to see if the location used by the locations around, but in a certain direction. Do we have that? We can loop around the location and say, do the location around you. I want to get only the locations towards that cardinal point. So let's first make sure we specify something different than random. So if we specify the end tile cardinal point is random, we're just going to do the same that we're doing now. If not, we're going to check if the location, I mean that's quite easy actually. We just need to duplicate that function, get location around, get location around. That takes not a location, I mean yes a location, but as also a cardinal point. So we're going to say it returns only a simple variable. We don't need that. We don't need that as well. Neither do we need that. We need to say, we need to select, not that. We need to plus, to add vector to another one. We need to add that vector. We need to select towards the direction. And we need to say, I don't want to delete that just now. So this is north, south, east, and west. And random is not going to return anything. So we're getting one location around. So we actually want to get the location around that point. Oh, it's not returning a location? No, it's not. We need to get that. This is the location we are looping through. We want to get that. We want to ask if the location is used. If the location is not used, we want to loop through that an amount of times equals to the numbers of corridors in a row we get, I suppose. So we want to say, is this location used? If so, we want to re-say that for the next tile after that. So we want to get the location around that, in that direction, and we want to do that an amount of time equals to that. So we're just going to say temp corridors. This is going to be an int. We are actually not going to do that. Yes, we are. Are we? I think we're not. We're going to loop. Yep. In any case, we need a temporary int, a temporary int. So, and this is going to be reset whenever we get there. And we want to say, we want to increment the number of temp corridors. We actually first want to check if this is greater than the 0. If it's not greater than if it's greater than 0, we're going to do our logic. If it is not, we're just going to say this is, we can add that tile, and we want to say is the location not used in here. So is the location around this point is not used towards that cardinal. If it's not used, and if we don't have any corridors to end tile, we want to add to the eligible connections, we want to add that location, and we want to say this is our numbers of steps to start. We actually could have just plugged that in here. We're going to do that. We're going to delete that. If not, if we have a number of steps to start to get, a number of corridors to end tile, we need to check the location around the location we found. And we need to promote that to a variable, to a local variable, temp location. We are starting to get a lot of temporary variable with not the proper naming convention. This is not clean, and we want to get our temporary location. We want to, or else is going to be re-triggered whenever we plug a wire to it, and we don't want that. So we want to get a location around that point. We want to say, is that used as well? Well, actually, this is this loop. This is the same thing than this, and we actually don't want to check that. We want to check if temp corridors is equal to corridors to end tile. So this is equal 0 and this is equal 0. So it's, if I set everything to 0, it's just going to work right away. If it's equal, if it's not equal, we are going to increment it. Then we're going to say this is our temp location, and in here we want that, and we want to say that is equal that at the beginning. So we want to say our temp location is equal that, and so if it's not equal, we have to make sure we increment that. We have to make sure first, before incrementing this, is it going to work? So we are setting this. This is our base values. We did not found any corridors. And the temp location is the location we are currently looping through. We're getting the location around towards that destination, that direction. If the location is not used, we want to do that for every corridors we gotta find. So if it's not used and we did not reach the maximum, we're going to increment that. And then we're going to say we want to do that again, I suppose. So for now we're asking for a random. I just want to hit play. So our style is still spawning, and I want an end tile from the north to the north. Maximum reroll amount reached. Check your metrics. So it said reroll the dungeon. Why did it say that? Get location around our temp location. Yep, we are doing this towards north. Towards north. If the location is not used, that means it never finds any northern location, or else it would say the location towards north is not used. Is that equal? Yes, yep, this seem equal. And that would say we just add that. I'm going to try with another direction. Sometimes it managed to build. We're just going to say that whenever we reset our dungeon, it also teleports our player. And we're going to remove the kill Z. And we're going to say our level generator. Whenever it generates the level, it also teleports our player character at location where I am. At the location I am, I mean, plus 150 to make sure. So it did not work. Why did it not work? I mean, it did spawn the tile, but it's not connected. So we are just going to ask for a random once again. Okay, so this setup works. So I just need to make sure if I'm saying this is, we want the western connection. It says I'm getting the location around east and west. Is that so? Is that so? This is the east. This is the east, boys. So, yep, east and west. So this is working. I suppose the location around, if it's not used. Oh, okay, I just connected the wrong wire. That was kind of a silly bug. So we want the western, we want the east, we want the south, we want the north. And oh, sometimes sometimes it's failing to build a northern. I mean, that's random actually. Are we resetting this? Find reference. So we're just getting that. So we're never setting this. It's it's apparently favorizing the north, is it? There is no such thing as favoritizing the north. Either the code works or it doesn't, I suppose. So, how is it adding? Is the location used towards this? No, so it's supposed to. Okay, we're not making sure to spawn the end tile. Yep, of course. We want in here, we want to say, hey, you spawn to the north. I mean to the specified. Hey, hey. Add style to layout. I mean, we want to. I mean, why is it not working? Because maybe the tile we get has no location. We want we want it to spawn to the north. Did not find any tile to spawn. Okay, so in here it was random at first, and if we specify this, we do not get any error, except the dungeon might still not spawn because we have a fixed amount of reroll that we are going to promote to. So where is that dungeon rerolls? Is that used in several functions? Nope, it isn't. So this is actually a local variable. We're just going to create a local variables and replace that with this. Whenever we call that, and we're going to delete dungeon rerolls, we're going to promote that to a metric. We're going to promote that to references. Max reroll, where is it now? In here, we want 30 maximum rerolls. We're going to hit F5 for me to refresh all nodes. So it's not spawning to the north, and I think I know why. So we are only adding in here, we are only adding tiles that do have at least a connection towards the direction we want, but afterwards we're not quite, we're not, we are looping through all the locations around. Is the location around, so we're inside a loop, and in here we only want to get the locations, all the locations. We want only all the locations if we so actually this is, we should not have to do that if we actually filter that in here. So in there we make sure that the tiles we found have location around them, but actually we only want to do that if the forced end tile cardinal is equal to random, or else we already filtered them. So we just want to say that we're getting all the locations around our tiles if and only if our specified forced end tile cardinal is random, or else we're going to specify that we found room in here, and we want to say, we just want to say nothing in here. We do not want to remove the further tile. So we only filter them if we found, if we want a forced end tile location, and we want to get that, we want to loop through them for, and in here I don't see why this is not working. It should have worked in the past anyway. So if I'm hitting play, everything is going to, everything breaks. Why does everything breaks? I think I know why. I think I know why. That's because I actually want to get the reversed cardinal in here. That wasn't the case. Oh, it's not working. So why is it not working? Because it doesn't find a cardinal. It should find a cardinal anyway. And we did not add the logic to spoon the corridor. But we're not doing this for now, so we actually want that direction. This is the direction we want. Why is it not working? It's like it was trying to plug it to the start tile. So we are looping through all our tiles if they are generic or additional. And if we specify another random cardinal point, we are getting the current location we're looping through. We found 0 corridor as of yet. We're going through the forced end tile cardinal. Maybe that's, yeah, I mean, no, that's not in here, that we should be asking for a reverse cardinal. So that location used? Is the location we just said used? Maybe it doesn't like that, the fact that we are setting the variable from that. We're just going to do that for now. It should be the same anyway, just to make sure. No, that wasn't our problem. So I'm not sure at what point it's not liking what it finds. So we get the keys. We're removing this from the further tiles. Once we've done, we want to go towards that destination. Location to seek. So it's trying to find the south. It's trying to go. It's trying to find the cell beneath the cell we're found location. We should be placing this to that. And we should hit compile, hit play, and it should always be spawning the right way. Yep. It's always to the south. And we want to say, does it work towards the west? It works. So now we want to say that if we actually have corridors to end tile in here, after adding the end tile, if we add a number of corridors to end tile, we want to loop through them. I mean a number of times equals to their amount. And we want to find a random next location towards our forced end tile, starting with the location we found in here. We actually do not want to add the end tile first. We actually want to say that this is our end tile starting cell and layout starting cell. And this is going to be used in here. And we first want to say if our corridors to end tile is equal 0, we just want to add our end tile to our layout. And if not, we want to loop through our corridors a number of time equals to our corridor to end tile plus we want to add a tile to the layout equals to the found location of our end layout starting cell towards of type generic tile. So we find one step towards we go one step towards east. The location we find is the location we add our generic tile. I mean, no, we just first want to add. We first just want to do this. We first want to add. As soon as we find the points, if we have corridors to add, we add the corridor. Then we say find random next location, going from the last point to the direction we want, and we're going to set that. So it's going to reloop, and then once it's complete, we actually that's before. I'm sorry, guys. We don't want to do that in here. We want to say like this. If we do not find a location, so This is for in case we do not have any corridors to spawn. We're just going to say find the random next location and blah 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 blah, add the tile. But if we have corridors to add, we're going to loop through the corridors. We're going to find the random next location like this. I mean, no. We found our random, we already picked that random found location. This is the location we are starting to. So we have far too many local variables, but I'm not going to clean up right now. So we're just going to say we set our end layout starting cell to the location we found. We are promoting this. So this is where we start. This is where we start adding the end tile. We want to find the random next location. We want to add that like this, and we're going to say our end style layout is the found location. We are actually going to set that before using it like this. So we're saying for each corridor we're finding a free space towards there. We're storing this. We're saying add style to the layout. Actually, that's silly. We need to say something like this, or else we're just going to connect two tiles with each other. I mean the same tile with itself, and it's not possible. So we're doing it like this, blah blah blah. It's looping again. It's finding locations, and we want to say that we want to, and we finally want to add our end tile to the found location connected to the end layout starting cell. We're going to hit compile, hit play. It should not have changed anything for now. We have a western dungeon, and we actually want 10 corridors to end tile. So I actually want 2 corridors to end tile. And it should be working all the time anyway. And you can see their amount of connections to start tile is not working. That's because these tiles appear after we sorted the tiles by their amount of connection to start tile, by the number of steps to start tile. And if I'm saying I want it to be towards the north, it should always generate a northern dungeon. And most of the time I will just say it's finishing on west with 1 corridor. I mean, I wanted to say east. And oftentimes you will see Diablo dungeon ending like this, with the end dungeon being in here, or on the contrary, the other way around, like this, with the dungeon being the dungeon entry, the exit being in here. So this is it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.